Good evening, everyone. We are back with another review for Star Wars The Acolyte. We're up to the penultimate episode tonight, episode 7. Thank Christ. Only one more to go next week. And, well, I don't think we'll be discussing future plans just yet, but we've been in discussion. There are Star Wars things planned for the future. I'm going to keep it at that for now. I am joined once again by the illustrious JX Editor. How are you doing?
I am illustrious.
Yes. Yes, you are. And there we go. Okay. And I'm Chris. Now, I want to clear something up before we get into the episode proper. Last week, if anyone tuned in, which hopefully you all did, I was drinking a cold one. We're both drinking cold ones by the looks of it. What are you drinking? You were just passed a beer? Is it a Mountain Dew? What is that?
No, this is a Rolling Rock.
A Rolling Rock. Okay. I've never heard of that. Is it good?
Classic PBR.
Rolling Rock is like beer flavored seltzer.
Right, okay.
But PBR is just like generic beer.
Yeah.
Got you.
I mean, I'm live now.
I feel like we're doing some kind of commercial. For Cerveza Cristal. Do it. Do it.
Cerveza Cristal. That's the best I can do. I'm not a singer.
I was drinking a cold Guinness last time, and this is freezing. This is like fresh out. We bumped up the refrigerator. Like, this is fucking cold.
What are you doing with that can, Chris?
Now I drank this out of the can last time, much to the disgust of you and some of our viewers as well. So I'm going to correct that tonight. I have with me a pint glass, and specifically, I have a Guinness glass. Is that sufficient enough for you?
He's got a Guinness glass. All right, he is redeemed from last week.
So you got to give me now. Is there a way?
He's not redeemed of that, but he is redeemed from last week.
What shit are you talking about?
Oh, so much.
Now, is there some kind of way that I need to pour this, or can I just like tip it straight in the glass? Because this is going to go everywhere as soon as I pop the lid.
I have heard when you do the Guinness from the can, I've heard some people say you don't do the tilt, you do it straight down, or is that just when it's nitro infused Pepsi?
I don't know. I've just poured them with wraps, so I.
Also, while we're waiting,
fucking bartender, you're useless.
Hi guys.
I've never poured from a can. I've only poured from draft.
Okay, well, you know, I ain't got time to waste, so we're just going. We're just going.
Yeah, no, just do it. See, yeah, no, I don't think you're gonna have a problem if you do it that way.
No, it should be good.
Is that picking up on the microphone?
It is not. It is not picking up on the microphone.
That is very nearly a pint.
I'm assuming the fizz.
There we go. Okay, right, I'm going to let that settle. And we are going to talk some Star Wars Acolyte. So, notes for this one aren't ridiculously extensive. This, as we guessed, this is the flashback episode. This is the episode that ties in with episode 3. And we see it from a whole new perspective, except we don't really. And a lot of it is just a retread of what we saw last time. And I'm still questioning why this couldn't have been merged into one episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like, I mean, the idea of having 2 episodes that coincide at the same time and we're seeing them from 2 different perspectives could be really interesting. Like, it could. I didn't think this was worth the hype and the wait for the big shocking reveal. I thought it was very predictable and not much ground was really covered.
I would say for a lot of it, I was thinking something kind of similar. I was like, this, honestly, I'd be interested in seeing this more as just like as like a as one continuous thing. But then you get to May. Turns out she wasn't that much of a psychopath. She was. She was a fucking.
She had burned the place down.
It turns out the fire was an accident, though.
Well, in a way, yeah. I'm still amazed at how quickly that whole place caught on fire.
He accidentally started the fire. That's not in a way. The fire was an accident.
It was always burning since the world's been turning. I probably made that joke back in episode 3. In fact, I'm almost certain I did.
Nice. I'm sure you did.
Yeah, so nice I had to do it twice. Anyway, to my first note on the episode, I simply have kill me. that is my opening
My
note.
first note is actually from the previously on. Yeah, I'm like looking for it, and I don't see May's scar or tattoo or whatever. So it's not that big of a giveaway. If you know it and you're looking for it, I guess it's there. But
It's a
I'm not
giveaway.
the only person who has not seen this and has to be reminded that it's there between episodes, so we can look in the next episode and make sure that it's there.
You are fucking
And we
blind,
keep
sir.
forgetting.
You are blind. Go back to some earlier episodes, like her first episode. There you go.
No.
You got it.
I do like remember some difference about them, like in some form of like a tattoo from like then, but I haven't outright seen it and noticed it since. And the fact is, it's specifically in those two episodes or the last episode before this one. That was the time when I really needed to see it for a point to be made.
Mm. But you need to be more observant, my friend. That's all I can say. It's there. It's there. You're just not looking for it. To your credit though, like the last couple of episodes have been really fucking dark in the woods.
Also, she wears her hair like her bangs or what's here? What's here?
Bangs.
Fringe.
Bangs. She wears her bangs like this.
Yeah. Yeah. So my note is like I dread this every week. Not this part where I get to chat with you, get to argue with you. We have a back and
dread
forth,
this
whatever.
part.
This part's great. When I have to load up the episode and hit play, and it comes on, and I check the timeline at the bottom, and I have to see how long the episode's on for. That doesn't help. Again, this was a relatively short episode. This was like what, a little over 35 minutes ish, give or take. And it felt agonizing. I had to watch this in like 2 or 3 intervals to get through it. It just feels like I'm comatose. But yeah, my first note, kill me. I'm just like, kill me. That is what I want. Just think of Palpatine's line from episode 9. Yeah, I need that. Get me that like big like crane thing is on. Get me on fucking life support when I'm watching Star Wars: The Acolyte. What was that
My
thing?
first
You get all the
note
visual dictionaries. What was that thing in episode 9? The giant crane machine.
Oh,
thing?
No. I haven't gotten dictionaries since I haven't gotten the visual dictionaries since before the Disney buy-in.
Oh, okay. I got Rogue One. I got that one. That one was pretty cool. I enjoyed that. So, my next note, we're back to Brendok. Oh, the old familiar places. And I have, is that a ghost trapper from Ghostbusters? So we've got a squadron of Jedi picking up moss and putting it what can only be described as a ghost trapper from Ghostbusters.
Oh, you see, I played this astronaut sort of Minecraft-esque game once that it kind of reminded me of, where you're collecting samples.
Right.
Huh.
And then I put, are they on a scientific mission or something? Like, this doesn't seem like something you'd send Jedi Knights on. And, well, and including Jedi Masters.
Excuse me.
The Guardians of Peace and Justice in the Old Republic, but also scientific, like, spores and fungus collectors? Like, okay.
Well, when it's, like, Force-related, yeah.
Well, they're there because of a vergence in the Force.
You know there were Jedi janitors, right? Like, this isn't that weird. There are Jedi who mop floors.
I guess, but you send this many Jedi... Like, they sent... Okay, the Council sends 2 Jedi Knights.
They send 2 Jedi Knights, a Master, and their Padawan. That's a bit much for this.
Yeah. I mean, it's like when you consider they send Obi-Wan and Anakin. Like, I know Anakin's a great fighter. I know Obi-Wan's a great fighter, and I know there was a huge war on, so maybe they couldn't. But you could spare more people. But like episode 3, they send 2 to go and get the Chancellor back. Now that's kind of a big deal. Like that mission, they send Kenobi on his own to Utapau to try and bring in Grievous. Again, if they get Grievous, they end the war. That's kind of a big deal.
I would point to examples from the Phantom Menace when there wasn't a war on, because you could always argue there's a war on. But if they had sent like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or maybe 6 other Jedi with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, they could have got them all alive.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Yeah, I don't know. It was just strange. It felt, you know what? It felt very Star Trek. That mission. It didn't feel very Star Warsy.
Star Trek. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get what you mean. That does feel like something you would see on Star Trek. That would be totally a thing that they do.
And they do say how long they've been there. I think they say they've been there like a month and a half or maybe 2 months or something. Um, and the young Padawan Jedi, Tommen from Game of I'm just going to call him Tommen. I can't remember what his fucking name is in this show. He
Oh,
only asks then, he
I was
says,
gonna go with the Lannister kid that Rickard Karstark murders.
yeah. He asks them, like, why are we here? What are we doing? This is the
That's
first
one of
time
life's great
he's
mysteries, isn't it?
yeah, this is the
Why are we
first
here?
time he's brought this up in 2 months. I mean, it's very handy for us, the audience. It's a nice bit of exposition, but
Yeah, no,
in
you're right.
character,
That
like,
was 100% like a weird time to ask that question, and it was just because the camera was rolling.
it's like, well, as you know, Tommen, we are here to collect spores.
Yes, exactly. The phrase "as you know." I don't mind as some of you know. As some of you know makes sense. Okay, fine. Yeah, I get it. It means the secret is out. I might as well tell the rest of you.
Mhm. Now I've got a
That is
question.
fine in Alien Cubed.
Yeah. So they were sent to this planet. They knew of this planet enough that it was a vergence in the Force, specifically whether that was a coordinate, whether that was a feeling, whatever it was. They discovered this planet and knew that this planet had some kind of huge Force energy on it. But they get to the planet and they can't sense where this energy is coming from. Oh fuck! I think JX is dying. You're all good? Okay, we're all good. So the ships that they arrive in, do they have any kind of like scanners or anything? Like, can they scan the planet and see any huge like energy signatures coming from anywhere? Because when they actually get into the witch's place, castle, mountain, whatever you want to call it, the whole part that like blows up when Usher and May are on like opposite sides and Sol saves them, it looks like the
generator?
interior of it looks like the interior of Starkiller Base when Han Solo dies. This thing is immense. And the Jedi can't sense this. They can't sense where this energy is coming from, or even that. The ships just can't scan the fucking
the
planet.
ship can't sense it, is what I'm questioning. Because we hear when Luke's getting to Dagobah, I'm not getting any readings of cities, just massive life readings.
Yeah,
So,
the same in Phantom Menace, which is closer in time, where they scan Tatooine.
Oh, I just figured they were just like looking at Tatooine's Wikipedia page.
Maybe, but yeah, the point still stands. You can scan a planet, and I'm expecting.
Well, you can
a
in
Jedi.
you can in the Century. We know that you
Oh,
can
are we
in the
going
Century.
with that? Are we going with that?
No. I would actually just say that the people are hidden by all the other life, so the scanners wouldn't get that. Why they can't sense the building? I'd have to say that maybe there are like just remnants of technology from whatever that disaster they talked about was. But yeah, no, that's just speculation.
Here's the thing.
That's just a fresh hit of copium if anyone wants it.
Yes. Well, this is why you need a Basil to go and track out where the he needs to sniff the dirty underwear of the witches so that he can track it.
Speaking of Basil, I just want to you can tell I was like petting my dog when this episode started, because my first note is that doggy's in people clothes, which was about the Wookiee.
Oh, right. Oh, we'll be talking about the Wookiee later. He actually gets something to do, kind of. It's a little bit of a letdown, but it's something. My next note.
Slower than I thought he'd be.
It's around the campfire, and Sol is, fair enough to this actor. Like, he's trying. He's trying to make this material work. The dude can't speak fucking English. Like, he's trying.
But like, he's really good at doing these phonetic reads of lines when it's way more dramatic. But like right now, it doesn't. It just feels like he's supposed to be having a casual conversation with like his friends, but he has no idea that he's so just intense and serious, and it's starting to poke through that this actor does not speak English.
Yeah, I know. And here's the thing, like, if they wanted someone who was, Asian descent or whatever, and they wanted to be more inclusive, more diverse, and all of that stuff that Disney does best,
they want it's Squid Games.
Yeah, well, that's the reason he's here, absolutely. But I'm thinking, if you wanted just an Asian male as this character, there are loads that are like, have a good grasp of the English language and could command the scene a bit more. I'm not saying he's not a good actor or anything. He's doing a bang up job of the stuff that he's given. But yeah, like when you want him to be casual, when you want it, like the way that he says words isn't how a normal person would say the words. It is literally like he's just barking orders, like say it exactly like this, roll camera, and he says it. It doesn't feel natural. And I'm saying you could easily get an Asian actor that has a good grasp of the language that might perhaps portray the character better in some circumstances. And I'm wondering if because of that, there's a part where
somebody who speaks Chinese or what I don't, or is he Korean? I'm sorry, I don't know the act. I don't know.
I think Korean. I think I'm not sure though.
I was thinking Chinese because I remember that's like they were having troubles in like they weren't getting the box office numbers they wanted in China, so that's why they got what's his face for Rogue One.
Oh, Donnie Yen? Is that him?
Yeah, it was Donnie Yen. That was exactly who it is.
And there's a bit in the campfire scene with Sol where I don't know if you saw this as well, where the camera is behind him. I think we're looking at Trinity, but he's still talking, and the ADR is so obvious. Like when you can kind of see the side of their mouth and it's like not moving. Yeah, look out for that if you ever go back to this episode. It's quite blatant.
I will. Unless I'm busy, unless I still haven't done something by around the time the next episode is gonna come out, I'm planning on watching the previous episodes before the final one.
Oh, that's very brave. Very brave of you. GT says, why not hire someone who speaks English? I agree. I think he's still doing a very good job.
There's logic in that. He's
and
doing
here's
a great
the
job,
thing.
but there is certainly logic in hiring somebody who speaks English to play a character.
Agreed, but you know what? Even that aside, he's still probably my favorite person in the show. He really is.
He better be doing the Korean dub.
Oh yeah, you would imagine so. Yeah.
Otherwise, why?
Yeah. Sol then hops on a CGI speeder bike, and I'm sorry, this looked worse than 1983. That initial bit where he jumps on the speeder bike looked really bad.
I'll have to look again. It didn't jump out to me.
And it was, again, I was thinking 180 mil. Like, let this just sink in for a second. I don't know about adjusted for inflation and all of that shit. But Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, good old episode 3, was done on a budget of $113 million.
Yeah, it's 2 hours.
Money laundering scheme is all I have to say. Like, it has to be. This looks so cheap. There is no way. There is no way.
Okay, buddy.
You don't think it does? You think this looks like top quality?
Don't. I mean, I wouldn't say this looks like movie quality, but nothing's really like you mentioned specific shots. I cannot defend these shots. I haven't looked at these shots through a critical eye. I was just watching the show and taking notes.
It's not just the effects; it's the costumes. That's a pretty
critical eye, but I haven't looked at through an analytical eye, I should say.
It's the limited sets that they've got to work with. It was like the same forest set for like 3 episodes straight. There's the occasional bit of location shooting. Like in this one, there's a bit where they're out in the open, which looks like... Well, I don't know if it was the volume, but it looked like they were on location, so fair enough. But this does not look like 180 to 200 mil. Like, it really doesn't. And as I say, like Andor, you look at Andor and you're like, absolutely, I can see where the money went. 100%. But this one, not so much. This is like on the same tier as Kenobi in terms of just how it looks. They all kind of have like a uniform look.
Okay. Interesting.
I mean, it doesn't have like the handheld shaky cam bullshit that Kenobi had every single episode. So there is that.
No,
but...
this is, although at times I will say this looks kind of flat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe it could use some shaky cam sometimes.
Sol then creepily stalks children through the woods.
Yeah, I was thinking something. I was like, that's a little weird. Like, we know his intentions are fine. We know he's why he's doing it. We get it. It does not look good.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. Yeah, so I thought they were
Oh,
specifically
I have
on
a
a
note from
mission.
earlier.
Oh, go on, sorry. Yeah.
Just like the idea of a dead planet after after what they described as a hyperspace disaster becoming full of life because of a vergence in the Force is such an EU thing. Like we've got a dead planet, a hyperspace disaster, and a vergence in the Force, like literally creating life. Oh my God, this is ripped right out of this is some old Republic shit, but like before 1994.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I thought they were specifically on the mission. Like, I thought they knew that this place had like they knew of the witches. They knew there was a strong vergence in the Force, and they knew that they had some Force-sensitive children there because they show up and they say like, "We're under the impression that you have children here that we want to test to see if they can be Jedi." I thought they were there with that mission. That's why they were on the planet. That's why they arrived. But no, they were on a scientific mission and then just so happened upon these witches and some miracle chosen one twins. I was like, oh, okay, sure. And then Soul climbs a damn mountain. Like he climbs a fucking mountain.
Yeah, he seems pretty okay with that.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, this mountain's big.
Also,
This
like
looks
I would
like
have actually, I gotta point out the thing about that mountain, like him climb. I actually have shots of Soul climbing. The mountains of Soul climbing were done in such a way that I did not immediately get that that was him on top of the. Because I never saw that that was a mountain. I needed the camera to do this.
well, you knew they were on a mountain though, right? Because that in episode 3, like we saw the
I'm
mountain burn
sure
from
I
the
knew.
exterior.
I'm sure if I watched episode 3 before I watched this, I would remember that they were on a mountain. There was nothing in this episode that reminded me that they were on a mountain.
Mhm.
And we
Well,
needed a
he
shot
can't.
that said
Yeah,
they're on a mountain. He is climbing a mountain right now.
yeah, he
Like
can't go
literally, he
through.
looks up and then it cuts to him. He starts
Yeah,
climbing. He looks up, cut to a perspective. Show us how big he's gonna climb. That
they haven't
then
got the
start.
budget. They can't. They
I
haven't
was
got the
just,
budget. They can't do
I'm
that.
literally like that shot would probably cost like it would
Can't
either cost 20 grand or it would cost an intern.
can't be done.
It would
Can't be
cost
done. They
just
don't have the
getting an
budget.
intern to do it.
We didn't have
Like
the
get an
budget for a
intern to
Wookiee.
do it, and
We
it would look fine, and it would be over. Or you spend like 30 million, like $20,000 on this one shot.
we didn't have the budget for a Wookiee fight in episode 4. We can't have a POV perspective shot of someone looking up at a mountain, dude. It's not in the budget. We can't do it. We've only got 200 million. God damn it! We're not made of money. We're only Disney. So yeah, he climbs a fucking mountain. I just wanted him to stand at the top like Drago, like just going nuts. But and yeah, and here's the thing: like when a character starts an arduous task like that, where you have a character about to scale a mountain, this mountain's not small either. This looks like Mount Fuji. This looks like it would take days to ascend. It's crazy. You'd expect like maybe cut away to a different character, maybe the next day,
Yeah,
maybe later in the day,
don't
and
just
then
cut
come
to
back.
him at the top of the mountain.
And he looks fine. He looks great.
Maybe
Now,
a
is
little
this?
like a little moist, but
Yeah,
yeah, no, his hair isn't like
there's
disheveled.
not even a drop of sweat on his
Is there no
forehead. Like
shine?
nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
I couldn't
Nothing.
remember if I was
He's not breathing heavy.
Because I was too busy to trying to figure out what just happened with the climbing and then the shot of him on the mountain and then he was inside.
Yeah.
It didn't even occur to me until like a little like a few seconds after that was him that all 3 times the middle time.
Yeah.
So I didn't think to look for sweat.
Like there's no dirt or grit on his hands. There's his clothes aren't travel worn or anything like that. It was insane. It was so quick. It just makes me not believe these characters are in these situations. It's just little things like that, really. Anyway, he gets to the top and he looks down and he's
accepted that all the cars in The Walking Dead were clean.
Yeah. And then he gets into the compound and then he sees the witches are moaning. Now, did you pick up on this as well? They sounded like the Ewoks when they're worshipping C-3PO, Return of the Jedi. That like,
Yoda?
oh, yeah, well, yeah, that.
I'm pretty sure like the name of the deity is like Iota.
Yeah, that's it. It sounded exactly like that. It was crazy.
I did not catch that.
And then they say, like, could they be Night Sisters? And they say, no, Night Sisters don't raise younglings. And I was like, what about Darth
yes,
Maul?
they do.
Was Darth Maul raised by Night Sisters?
He would be a Night Brother, but I'm thinking more of Asajj Ventress.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Because the Night Sisters did not raise Darth Maul. That was the Night Brothers. They're on like the other side of the planet.
Right. But you're saying they did with Asajj Ventress? Because
Well,
Dave Filoni okayed this shit.
No,
This is
because they gave away Asajj Ventress, or like Asajj, because there's a flashback of Asajj Ventress as a baby being given to somebody. So technically, she's not proof that they do. But like, then where did they come from?
so the Night Sisters
And
are
what happens
made up
if one of them had? Do they? Yeah. Like, I figured that Asajj Ventress was like an exception where somehow she got like enslaved or something.
Mhm.
But I
So
guess
the Night Sisters are just made up of like an exclusive club of middle-aged women that just find their way onto Dathomir and find the Night Sisters.
so that depends, because there are all of these like tribes of women, and then there are these tribes of men throughout Dathomir, according to legends. But all we've ever seen from them in canon is the Night Sisters and the Night Brothers.
But they don't raise younglings.
So-
That's so like, do they fuck? Like, how do people on Dathomir procreate?
They fuck Night Brothers.
Okay, but then you'll have younglings running around and they don't raise younglings. So what gives?
Yeah, I don't know if what is Asajj Ventress? Like, what is her species? She looks like an Umbaran, but I doubt she is. What species is
I thought
Asajj?
she was human, but like she was really fucked up from the dark side or something.
She is a Dathomirian. Fuck you. Okay,
Oh, so she just yeah, she
she's
just exists. On
she's a white humanoid race from Dathomir.
right.
Similar to
Okay.
how that the chick that Palpatine was allegedly fucking is a white humanoid race from Umbara.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
And whatever the fuck Aura Singh is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
then we cut to the oh god,
yeah,
sorry.
do they fuck? No, I'm just wondering, like,
Yeah, I don't get how it
now that
works.
they're like, if they say the Night Sisters don't have younglings, and I'm
Yeah.
like, well, wait, so are like Zabrak and Dathomirian like incapable of procreating, or
Well,
because
how
the
it
only
sounds
cross-species
like
Zabrak we've seen
Yeah.
have been artificial insemination, so we don't. It doesn't really count.
well, it says they don't raise younglings, so I'm assuming that you could be a youngling given to the Night Sisters to grow up with them, but they would still be kind of raising them though, right? So do you have to have it?
Oh, actually, you know what? We do no. You know what? In Tales of the Empire, we do see that there are other covens on Dathomir.
Okay.
Because the Morgan
Elspeth or whatever her fucking name is.
is
That one?
exactly what I can't remember. She's one of the night. She was one of the Night Sisters, and she was saved by one of the other tribes. So
Yeah.
that is now an established thing. So they could get their recruits from strays from those tribes.
Right.
But yeah, no,
right.
I don't.
Yeah, right after this, you have the Jedi who just walk through the main door. And I'm like, so why did Saul climb a mountain?
Oh, because actually, I kind of have a note on this because forgot slicing was hacking for a second, because they tell the Wookiee to slice the lock, and I'm like, that's bold. And then he pulls out like a device. I was like, oh yeah, that's what that is. That's what they call that. But also, then I put, why are Wookiees so often mechanics? And then I kind of had an epiphany. I was like, oh, long lifespan, and they live in a society with spaceships. Like
Yeah.
it's that you should do that if you have time and you live in this. Yeah, become a mechanic.
So are those Wookiee helicopters in Revenge of the Sith made of wood?
The motors don't look to be, but the like the foundations and stuff. There seems to be wood on them.
Yeah.
Do they float in water? That's another week. We've
Oh,
mentioned
I was
that.
gonna say, yeah, are
referenced.
we 3 or 4 weeks now? We better think of
I
an
think we're
absolute
4.
zinger for next week. We can't break this combo. Is this just going to be a thing now? Every stream we do, we need to get a Monty Python reference in there somewhere.
Yes.
Specifically, I
Holy Grail.
really hope that someone gets stabbed and then comes back to life and be like, I got better.
Oh, you see, I was thinking like, would you be more okay with the end of The Last Jedi if Rey was lifting, like apples or very small rocks?
Yes. Oh, I think England just scored. I can hear my next door neighbour shouting. It's the big football match on right now. Sorry, soccer for people overseas.
Yeah, look, it's your channel.
Yeah, I got some very excited fans next door, so it's nice. See, I don't even watch football anyway, but even if I did, I wouldn't need to because I'm getting a running commentary from next door, which is great. And then this is the part where it kind of crosses over. Right, now, okay, so we chatted about this episode a little bit earlier, very, very, very briefly. And you said, like, yeah, I really enjoyed it. What I liked about it most, and I might be paraphrasing here, is that everyone's goal, everyone was very clear cut in this episode. You knew where everyone stood.
Yeah.
So we cut to the scene where Tommen gets possessed. Now, to me, there is no ands, ifs, or buts.
I actually have a note on a little confusion here.
She is fucking evil. She is like exuding straight up dark side energy right now. And as far as I'm concerned, right after this, I'm like, there is no ambiguity here as to where she stands. Like, she comes across as pure fucking evil in this scene.
I would say she comes across as I don't see her as pure fucking evil in this scene. I see her sort of from like an audience standpoint. Yes, you would look at this as from like you hear the seductive music and so on. Yes,
she's like coming on to him, right?
To an audience, she looks evil.
Yeah, she's like a seductive. She's like a temptress, and yeah,
she's literally offering Torben exactly what he wants.
Yeah,
and then she tells him to kneel, and I thought for a second, wait a second, was he fine and he just wants to leave? And so he was like going along with an act, and I was like, oh no. I realized later, no, by her being like, hey, if you give up, you can get exactly what you want. That was literally her like breaking his mental guards that he's talking about later.
He's been really fucking whiny about it. He's just like, I want to go home, guys. Like, are we there yet? Like, he's been really fucking whiny about it.
Listen, I fucking hate traveling, so I can't fault him on this one. Hey, by the way, hey Brinsley.
Brinsley, how you doing, man? Yeah, watching football right now. Yeah, I think everyone in the UK probably is right now. And it sounds like they're doing very well. So, hopefully,
it's not that we don't care. We know you're late. We get it. It always happens. We're not upset.
But yeah, she's like super. She's very Luciferian. Is that a word? Is that a word that I've just made up now? But she comes across.
It's a great word. I would have also I would have also gone. Could have gone with bringer of gifts.
Yes, yeah. Well, all you got to do is wear a wig, right? And then you blend right in. You don't have to change the face. You just got to wear a wig, and you're okay.
Did you see the deep fake reaction to it? With Charlie?
No, I haven't yet. No, I need to.
I'm pretty sure it was Boromir, but in my head it's Qui-Gon saying, "Who is that?" And I think Gandalf is like, "It's Sauron. What are you talking? He's just wearing a wig."
But Yeah, when Mother, what's her name, Erisea, whatever, Erised, whatever her name is, she's like caressing his chest and everything. She's like, "Oh, what do you want the most?" And I thought, "Oh, is she like coming onto him, kind of thing?" And he's like, "Oh, want to go home," and she's been like all really witchy and evil and voodoo-y, and then like he falls to his knees and is, what? I can't read that.
Might be getting some Weinstein vibes from her.
Oh yes, yes. I'm glad you called. Yeah, I didn't have a note on that. I'm glad you called it out. That's probably exactly how it went down, especially including the word Neil as well. Definitely. Oof. Right, right. What you know, Leslie Headland. Right. And
Okay,
he
I just
falls
made
to his,
sure the audience can read that.
yeah. He falls to his knees, like his eyes go black and evil and dead, and we saw that in episode 3. I'm like, these are just evil. The Jedi have just showed up, and you have this immediate reaction to them. Like, to me, there's no ambiguity right now. Like, these people are bad news, no matter what the episode tries to tell you, or how you have to kind of cope with like what one of the characters' decisions is at the very end. We get that quote again from episode 3. A lot of my notes are just crossing over with episode 3. It was difficult to differentiate the new shit between the old, but it's with the we have the right to test children to be a Jedi.
No, that was
with your
one of those
permission, of
lines.
course.
No. There were a number, like I also said in that message where like my only real gripes with this episode were some writing decisions that are actually just carryovers from episode 3. So I didn't even take the notes on them. One of them was like, how do you always find me? It's like, whenever I can't find you, I look here.
Yeah.
So it's really, so how have you not caught on to this?
It's really easy
Then
to find
she
you
says,
then. Yeah.
we have the right to test prospective Padawans with your permission, of course. And of course,
yeah.
there are other children. No, just say other children and it's fine. We get what you, but if you say there are other children, you're stupid now.
Yeah.
You never even thought about this.
It's just with your permission, of course, is just comedic timing, because there's that pregnant pause right before she says it, and it just, yeah. What if they said no?
I really
then
wish you'd
what
watch
if they
the
just
movies
said
I sent
no?
you.
Say that again. Sorry.
I was just saying, I really wish you would watch some movies I'd send you, because there's a movie called with Michael Caine and Laurence Olivier where literally like one of their first exchanges. So I understand you wish to marry my wife with your permission, of course.
What if they said no? Like,
yeah, no, well, according to the witches, the Jedi would have come back with and in greater numbers, but they probably wouldn't have.
Yeah, it's a strange.
Like the witches are wrong. They probably would have been fine if they just did nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But public opinion of the Jedi is that they steal kids.
Yeah. Yeah, they stalk kids through the woods really creepily.
This is a little weird.
It's not a good look. Brinsley says, "I would get homesick if I had to camp for 7 weeks." That's in relation to Tommen's character, but he does mention what planet he's from. Now, I would guess that he's been trained as a Jedi from an incredibly young age, so he's been in Coruscant for a number of years. Probably not without the option of being able to go home to his home planet and his home world, and now he's getting homesick on a. I think he says his original planet, doesn't he? And it's not Coruscant.
No, you're right. She says you're from like
Bombagong.
Yeah, something like that. But I would also just point out that he was on Coruscant from before he could like fabricate memories to when he is now till 7 weeks ago.
I have a note here, and it's related to the marking, the tattoo thing. So young Sol immediately notices the dark side.
I knew you were going to mention this
on May.
But
conveniently,
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
So I did know it was there because I saw it in the first episode. I didn't see it in the previous episode to the point where I was able to forget it was even there a couple times.
I was going to bring this note up earlier when you mentioned it, but I thought I'll wait till we're going in order. Yeah, he immediately notices it, and he calls it out, saying that it's like a dark side marking or or something like I forgot what he calls it in the episode.
It's just the same one that her mother has.
Yeah. But he conveniently forgets all about this in the previous episode and can't distinguish that May has that on her forehead. So, yeah. There we go.
I've already said what I have to say on this. Let's just continue. We got places to be.
They're talking about like
Oh.
virginces. Oh, go on, sorry. Yep.
What is the black dot next to Trinity's eye? Is that something the actress has, or is that the character?
What? Sorry.
There's like a black, like, okay, so she's sitting
like a mole.
Camera's here, so it would be here. Does she have a mole? Is it like a beauty spot, or is that something the actress has, or is that something the character has?
Let me check. Next to her eye, you say?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't look like she has anything. No, her eyes look normal. No. No beauty spot.
Hang on. I don't remember her character's name, so I'm just gonna put Trinity Acolyte.
Well, just Carrie Ann Moss. That's the actress.
You see, that's what I couldn't remember though. Okay.
Oh,
so
yeah, no, I see it now. Yeah, that's a character thing. She's got two little tattoo marks next to her left eye.
No, there's a picture of Trinity, and then there's a picture of.
Yeah, it's a weird choice.
Indara.
Maybe they thought it looked cool. They talk about the virgins.
Who's the yellow chick? Who's Barasoffi's master?
Oh,
no.
Barasoffi. Luminara.
Luminara.
Yeah.
Yeah, Master Luminara. She has a thing.
Oh, she does. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, she does. Yeah. They're talking about like a vergence in the Force and how these people have been created out of nowhere, and I'm just like, every time they're talking about a vergence in the Force, I'm just like, you're really taking the shine away from Anakin right now.
Virgins.
Really take
that? Not really.
And again, like none of this information can be relayed to the Jedi Council because when it's mentioned in Phantom Menace and he says, like, I believe it was a vergence in the Force. A vergence, you say? Like, they act like they've never heard about this shit. They're shocked about it. And they'd be like, oh, is this the same vergence from like 80 years ago when there were Usher and May?
They were not acting like they've never heard of that before. They were not
fuck you. They're shocked.
Acting like they've never heard of that before.
They're shocked about it.
Because there's a vergence in the Force, but that's a rare occurrence. That can just be a rare thing to happen. The fact that he's just throwing the term vergence in the Force means this is a thing.
It was a thing that had never happened before. That's why Anakin was such a big fucking deal. That's why he was like, we need to train this. Like, there's a vergence in the Force. This guy's been created out of nothing.
He was born of the midichlorians. Vergence in the Force. You see, vergence of the Force is like the rectangle. No, it's like the So vergence in the Force, nexus of the Force, and virginal births in the Force. Squares, parallelograms, and rectangles.
Okay.
They fall into they are the same thing sometimes, but also they're different sometimes. One of them's a blanket term that encompasses both.
Well, I'm saying none of the Jedi Council can know this because otherwise they would have brought it up. They would have gone
about the Virgin.
Oh,
no, they knew about the Virgins. They sent them there because of the Virgins.
Yeah, okay, so it's balked then. It's fucked. It's already fucked.
It's literally not, though. It's literally not.
The cope is strong with this one. I'm sorry. It just takes away any of the intrigue from Phantom Menace.
A vergence in the Force is a thing. It is a rare occurrence. That's
apparently
just a
not.
Thing.
Apparently not anymore.
I mean, it was enough. It was rare enough to send 4 Jedi? How many Jedi were in there?
Yeah, then it happened again, 80 years after?
A century later. Yeah, like 87. There was another virgin. So, you got one. Actually,
do you acknowledge, though? Do you acknowledge this? If you're saying like a vergence can happen every 80 years or century or whatever, do you accept,
I would assume irregularly,
do you accept this taking place before Phantom Menace? That does kind of take away the shine from the events in episode 1 just a little bit because this happens right before.
See them as connected.
How?
Because they're different events.
The knowledge that the Jedi have. The knowledge that the Jedi have circa Phantom Menace compared to all this shit that transpired like 80 years ago that never gets brought up.
No, because this is a vergence in the Force on a planet, whereas, as Mace Windu puts it, a vergence in the Force located around a person.
Yeah, they've never heard about this shit before. Around a person? A
Wait
being,
a second. They've never heard of it before. Then why didn't he say anything?
Yeah, he says,
Why
like, located
not
around a
explain
person.
himself more
Yeah,
before
no. When he
Mace
says,
Windu started questioning?
No, he looks confused. He's like, located around a person, like a human, like yeah, a vergence in the Force you might have from nature, you might have from a place like Octo or where
But
a
you're
place
not
like
going to
that.
find it on Tatooine. So the only place you're going to find it, if you've just been to Tatooine, is a person.
Yeah, but he says located around a person. He doesn't know. Like, this is brand new shit. This has never been heard of. This has been unheard of. That's why Anakin's the chosen one. He's a freak occurrence of the Force
on Tatooine.
He never specifies. He just says around a person. He doesn't say a person on Tatooine. He doesn't say located around a person on Tatooine. Blah blah blah.
But Chris, he was just on Tatooine. This is where that Sith Lord just attacked him. He's also found a vergence in the Force. Safe to assume that was on Tatooine. Now,
yes.
there's no.
I'm not disputing that. Of course, it's on Tatooine.
No, but exactly. But Chris, we see a vergence in the Force here, and it turns a barren, lifeless planet into a life-filled planet. That's not happening on Tatooine. Therefore, if there's a vergence of the Force, it's located around a person.
Persons in this. There's two twins.
No. They're not the vergence in the Force. They were created by the vergence in the Force. Anakin is the vergence in the Force.
Oh, semantics at that point. Come on.
No, because the fact that they were able to create those twins using the vergence that was already there. Anakin is and of himself a vergence in the Force.
Well, he was created by what? Midichlorians, by the Wills? What was he created by? The cosmos
according
itself?
Literally, allegedly, so far all we know, the Force itself, according to legends, Plagueis tried to create someone like the twins, but the Force retaliated and stopped him and created Anakin in return as like a retaliation. But yeah,
if you square it up that way, then fair enough. I don't see it that way at all. Like, every event that has happened in this show immediately contradicts Phantom Menace, like the Coyote Mundi stuff, the fact that the Sith are out there and proclaim themselves the Sith, the fact that the Jedi Council know all about this, that the Vergence in the Force, and they know that these two twins were like immaculate, that they were immaculately conceived by the Force, and that they know that because two women can't conceive.
Witches be crazy, dude.
Like, they would know all of this shit. Like, it's just it fucks as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, then we have angry. Is it Zabrak, the Darth Maul species?
It is Zabrak. I would assume that she's got to be like a former Night Sister or something. Either that, or she's either Dathomirian or Iridonian.
She's whoever she is pissed off. She is very angry, and
she's
her line
mad,
delivery,
I think, is the word you're thinking of.
She is. Good girl, get mad, is her instruction to a young May. May kind of uses the Force to grapple the staff thing that she's got in her hand. Like, she tries to fight her, and she's like, "Good, use your aggressive feelings. Let the hate flow through you." Except that's a cool line from Palpatine.
You complain. You listen. You complain about the quality of that line, but if she had said something more Star Wars, you would be complaining that they're just ripping off Palpatine quotes.
There are ways that you can write that where you're not ripping off previous lines, and you can write something better.
I know, and yet somehow, if anybody mentions a trap, it's a reference for you. Checkmate.
I conceded the point. The point was conceded, JX, back in that episode.
Okay. I defer my motion to allow permission to explore the validity of your accusation.
Okay, we can write better than that. We can write better than that too. But
I love that line so much.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing I'll say about like George Lucas's writing. When it's bad, compared
It's
to
good.
this. It's memeable. It's memorable. It's still memorable. It's still shit, and it doesn't roll off the tongue very well. Like even Mark Hamill said that back in '77 with the lines that were in the original
But in
script.
a way, because it doesn't roll off the tongue very well, it rolls off the tongue really well in a very weird way.
Yeah, and it's memorable. Of course it is, and we've seen that through
Literally,
meme
like
culture from the prequels and
I'll just be like sitting alone, and I'll just say like, "Will you defer your motion to allow a commission to explore the validity of
yeah.
your accusation?" And I'm like,
And in this,
man,
yeah,
I gotta get somebody to say something so I can say that to them, and then I
yeah, and
don't.
then and but we just did that. We just did the whole thing. And then in this, like the equivalent is get mad. It's like good girl, get mad. Roar. Like game face, angry eyes, game face on. Roar. And that's it.
Oh,
Like
actually, wait, wait, wait.
I
Can
was
we go? I
comparing
think
it
we
to
need to go back a
Velocity.
second.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Have we gotten to? They've taken the test already at this point, right?
Oh yes, they have. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Oh, they
so
call it M count
um,
for some reason.
oh, they call it M count in that's just what Disney has called
Are
midichlorian
we
counts
still trying to
since
avoid the Medichlorian ghost? Like, are we just avoiding that
it's
whole name?
it's just the slang that they've already established, and it's like still we're part of like the inner fandom. Generally speaking, it's still cool to bag on the prequels.
Oh, it's like if it is a nickname, like it's never been referred to that in the prequels at all. It was always
No,
Medichlorian
no, it
count.
was
I need
never
the
referred to that in the
Medichlorian count.
prequels. It was referred to that in Mandalorian.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Filoni,
The
thank
guy with the
you.
glass.
There you go, Filoni. Great, love him. So great.
I will say, Lucas in the behind the scenes of Clone Wars says Kaminoan. Same.
Yeah, but he says like, he said he has a really weird way of saying Dooku
He
as
said
well.
Dooku. Yeah,
Dooku. Yeah, well, Yoda says that at the very end of Attack of the Clones, and it's weird.
I fixed it.
Yeah, because Yoda says it two different ways in the same movie in the span of like 5 minutes.
How Dooku, twisted by the dark side. Dooku
Dooku
is.
has. Yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird. Yeah, well,
No,
I hate that. Yeah, I hate
no.
that. Like in Attack, yeah, in Attack of the Clones, it's Kaminoan, and I think he says it a few times as well. Dexter Jetster when he takes him the saber dart, and then it's like
I think he only
Kaminoan
says it the
now.
once. Yeah, Well, here's the thing. At least Dexter Jetster is like trash, and he runs a diner. Kaminoan might just be how high society says it.
It's I don't know. Like, is there another example of this? Like, the planet's called Camino. It's a Caminoan. The planet's not called Camino.
Oh, really? What do you call that thing you put urine in?
Are we doing this again?
If the point can be made, the point will be made.
Fuck you.
No, say it. Say it.
Say it. Urinal.
You urine in a
Urinal.
yeah, wrong. Just so wrong. It's a urinal. But the thing is, people say that. So you can't have two different echelons of society pronouncing something differently, even if one of them is objectively wrong.
I thought movie canon was like the ultimate thing, right? Whenever we see in the movies is what goes, pronunciations and whatnot. Then again, you got
I think
Princess
that's a bit of
Leia
a
and
no,
Princess
no,
Leia.
no, no, no. Yeah, no, no. Yeah, I would argue very much against that because if something can be recontextualized in the movies, it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
like,
Just
if what do you think Qui-Gon's status on the Jedi Council is? Like, why do you think he's not on the council?
uh, why don't I think that Qui-Gon's on the council?
Well, Obi-Wan tells him if you would just follow the code, you would be on the council.
Yeah, yeah,
Originally, that's meant to mean if you followed the rule book, they would let you be on the council.
yeah.
It now means if you followed the code, you would have accepted the council's proposal when they offered.
Right. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I always saw. Well, this is mentioned
Yeah,
more
no,
in the in Attack of the Clones, right? In the
totally
deleted
saw.
scenes, that he's a bit more of a free thinker. He's a bit more of a wild card of a Jedi, and kind of lives by his own rules.
That's what I saw on the Jocasta News.
I guess an argument could be made that Qui-Gon is the most devout to the actual will of the Force. Like, he's not dictated by
That's
anyone.
100% a thing.
Yeah.
That's why he becomes a Force ghost. That's why he gets guided to the priestesses, because he literally went into hyperspace with no predestination. Just let the Force take over. He let God take the wheel.
I don't think that's how the Force works, though. I don't think you can just be like, I'm going to let this thing just go.
Well, that's how the Chiss navigate through their territory of space, because they're in the unknown regions according to our galaxy. It's pretty known to them, but they're able to navigate it because they have force sensitive navigators called Skywalkers.
I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in the EU.
I thought it was really. I'm like, I think that's kind of dumb, but in like a that's cool kind of way. I like it. I like that they're called Skywalkers, and because when Thrawn first meets Anakin, he's like, "Excuse me, I'm sorry. I think I misheard you. Did you say your name is Skywalker?" And then he says something in a language that Anakin doesn't recognize. Like, who are you talking to? He's like, "I'm talking to my navigator."
Well, I'm very surprised that Anakin doesn't speak that, because he does speak astromech droid apparently in the deleted scene of
They're
Revenge of the
not
Sith.
speaking English in this conversation. They're not speaking basic. They're speaking Cybisti. But nobody in the galaxy knows Chiss because it's not from their galaxy.
Yeah.
But there's an outer rim trade language that they both know.
I have a note which says, "Witches, arm yourselves." I'm guessing it was the particular line delivery that made me laugh, because she does have a very funny delivery, especially on. I've got another line written down in just a second.
She has an accent, right?
Yeah, she does, but it's quite funny when she's trying to get mad. And then I just have another note again, a carryover from episode 3. Bricks and stones burn and catch fire like it's a thatched roof.
I mean, what is this coven but a thatched barn where the brigands drink and the facts roll on the floor with the dogs? Reek, not drink.
And they eat their fucking spice creams. Please tell me someone saved the spice creams. Did they get the spice creams off planet? Are spice creams only exclusively made here? Are they a delicacy in other regions of the galaxy? I need to know.
Oh my god. Krista, why would you say such a thing? I'm terrified now. We could just see the last of spice creams.
Oh no!
I missed another note, by the way. Next, when we were talking about the M count, them being like exactly the same on a chemical level, like not just twins, but basically clones. They really should have just did the same girl twice for the little girls then.
Excuse me?
Because they look as different as twins do.
Is that what Epstein said?
Twins. Fuck off. You know what I mean? Like young May and young Osha look like different girls because that's how twins work.
Yeah.
But then you cast her as the same person later, and that works for that. And it worked for the Terminator 1000 in T2, but that was very quick.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, they look nothing like each other, but they
really
do share one thing in common.
They must be twins, because otherwise, why would they be cast? But like, they don't look enough like each other.
No, they really don't. But they do have one thing. They do have one thing in common that is consistent between the two of them. Both of them are fucking terrible actors.
They can't act them. Yeah. I knew you were gonna say that. I'm like, they can't act. Yeah.
I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but where she's like, "Mama, mama, mama," like when she's stabbed and she's dead and she's just there, she's like, "Mama, mummy." Yeah, it was so bad. Oh, okay,
I
okay,
didn't relate that. I got that from what you were saying, and I was like,
yeah,
this is funny.
yeah.
Oh, I
Okay,
have a note here.
yeah, go on.
I think we're about to see the Wookiee budget. Oh, never mind.
Do the that comes after, doesn't it? Does the Wookiee fight come after?
I don't know why this. No, I think I added the never mind later. But when they sent what I think that was when she sent the Wookiee in.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
So the Wookiee hasn't showed up yet. That's a little bit later. So this is the big altercation now, right? This is the big misunderstanding. This is where Mother Erisea turns into a giant, like, black smoke monster from Lost. There you go. There's another Lost
May
reference for anyone
starting
who's
the
watching.
fire. We're skipping May accidentally starting the fire.
Well, yeah, I don't have much of a note on that. I just have that bricks and stones catch fire. That's all I have.
Yeah, I was just like, kind of explains why she got so mad when she was being arrested specifically for the fire that killed her family.
Just
Which
opposed to every
that gets
other
elaborated
atrocity
on
that
more.
she
Is
did.
Well, the thing is, I was that the other thing, the other like murders were definitely like that's definitely on her. But actually, I have more to. We'll skip to the. I'll get that at the end because that's more about the music that plays over the credits.
Oh, but yeah, that got the biggest fucking reaction out of me this whole episode. I like snapped out of my coma and then got really angry when that part happened. We've got Travis Mitchell in the comments, says, "How's it going, guys? Really liked this episode." Oh boy,
me too. I thought this one was good. Hi, Travis.
I don't know you sometimes, Jet. Like
I feel like you know me pretty well.
I don't get any like taking Star just because it's got Star Wars in the title, like the equation. I don't get how you can watch this and say this is a well-written, competent TV show. It just really isn't in any way.
Because I've seen some pretty incompetent TV shows. Like I've seen as how bad TV can get.
Yeah, and you're staring at it right
awful...
now.
No. You haven't watched a 9-season show and go from this is so bad to I miss when this was good. Because those two thoughts don't make sense, and yet somehow they both existed in my brain.
I don't have the strength. I don't have the strength. You're seeing something that I certainly do not see. Travis says Ghostbusters reference with Coral disappearing, yelling at them. Only instead of a marshmallow man, the destructor is Kelnaka. That's a really good point. Hey, we're talking about the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man again. That was a conversation that brought us together originally.
Was it? Because of my uncle?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. My uncle
I don't know if you've ever shared that story. Yes, sorry.
I think I've shared it on I've occasionally shared it on a stream. I'll just go. I'll be quick. My uncle is the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. He did silversmithing in college, and that ended up leading to him making somebody a costume. Somebody important saw that. He got him a job. Then he fitted the suit to the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man for himself. And then they needed to cast. Oh, he's also the pit bitch in the Army of Darkness and the grouchy alien in Men in Black. He's a number of other things, but Spider-Man 2, Cat in the Hat, a lot of things.
That's awesome. I love it. I love that. Travis also says, and the good son callback at the end with Sol having to choose between the kid he likes and the crappy one, sacrificing the crappy one. Isn't that Sophie's choice? Yeah, I went there.
Nope.
Oh boy, that's insane. I made that reference, and your uncle was him. I know it's like the will of the Force, isn't it? We're all connected in the great circle of life and shit. We had another Ghostbusters reference earlier. I talked about the Ghost Trapper at the beginning.
Honestly, when he said Ghostbusters reference, I thought that's what he was talking about, and then I kept writing.
So we get to the big altercation, right? Where you've got Mother Erisa, or whatever her name is, and Osha runs out. It is Osha, right? Who runs out, and she's like, "I need help,"
Wait,
or is that May?
no, that's May.
Okay, May runs out. She's like, "Mom, I
Joel
need help."
says it's Osha because he's like Osha.
And
I
then
don't remember what he said, and I'm not gonna ad lib something with the accent. If I'm gonna do the accent, I'm doing a real quote. I'm not pissing anybody off.
oh, maybe we'll get you to do that at the last episode. Fuck
I
it.
know he
In
said
for a penny, in
Osha,
for a pound.
so I can say that.
Osha. Yeah, and then without missing a beat, the mom like transforms into this terrifying demonic waif. This fucking, in place of a dark lord, you will have a queen, and like turns into this black smoke
I
monster,
think
right?
she's disapparating. I saw this more as like she's doing a Harry Potter.
Yeah, and then as she's doing that, like May is like it's like Thanos has snapped his fingers. She is yeah, she's disappearing into the ether. She's literally tearing apart and dissolving.
Oh, I wonder if it's because of the head thing. I at first I was like, she's like taking her with her to go get Osha, but I'm wondering if it's because of their head thing.
And then, like, I do not blame Sol in this situation. He sees this terrifying thing happening. He sees this child who he actually cares about disappearing with this kind of like shocked look on her face, like she's never seen her mom do this before. So he's like, right, I'm going to take her out because she's doing something evil. And then as she's dying, she's like, oh, I was actually going to try and help, and now you have killed me, and I would have let Osha go and train with you. It's like none of this was verbalized. You could have very easily said like, I need to go and save my daughter. And then Osha can go and train with you. She could have verbalized this in a number of ways.
Oh, couldn't sense. Oh, wait. Are you watching now? Because we talked about this well before you got here.
Travis says, the Witch Coven is said to be a mining facility, and we see the witches wearing gold, bronze, like metal. I speculate this could have been a Cortosis mining facility, hence why the Jedi couldn't sense them.
I would also just point out, if this is a mining facility, then yeah, there would probably be other buildings like and technology intact throughout somewhere on the planet, so that it would confuse scanners. They would just look at it as another ruin.
Mining accident.
Vader, you sound so tired.
You sound so old. Look, it's just been a long day for him.
To see the wizard.
The wonderful wizard.
No, it's not a long day. Literally, like he was taking a nap. He was just having a nap.
Because it's been a long day.
Showed up.
Because it's been a long day.
Yeah,
you ever been woken up from a nap? Like your voice sounds a little bit raspy. One of those naps where like you haven't got a full
know what
sleep
fucking
cycle.
day it is.
Yeah. He's had to put the fucking
just
suit
like
on. That's not
like the drool from the side of your mouth is dried.
Yeah.
You're not even sure like how you got certain like indents from on your skin, but you did.
Yeah.
Like they don't show up when you just like take a normal sleep, but right now they're there.
I mean, Vader wouldn't be able to tell. His skin's so crispy. Like, oh, there's a new indent there today. That wasn't there yesterday. Like, Travis says the idea that the planet was dead until the witches showed up is interesting, just like how trees grew on Mustafar after Vader and the dark side left.
Well, that was less so much that Vader left in that
Didn't he put a thing in a thing?
I don't know the full story, but I saw the thing, and it was
it's like a crystal he puts in a thing or something.
Yeah, like a a light. I think it's called the Life Star, and it's like he's an ancient lord of Mustafar. He tried to use it, and then he failed.
It's called the Life Star.
Oh fuck! There's no way that's what it's called. There's no way that's what that's called. Holy shit!
Wait, no, I was just saying. I thought that's what it was called. What you mentioned, I was like, is it actually called the Life Star?
I know. You just said that. No. And then I made the connection. There's no way that this is the opposite of the Death Star.
Oh fuck! It so is.
Oh,
it's so God. Disney. Of course,
Vader. VR. plot.
no.
Let's just
It will be.
for
It's
Fire
so
World,
it's so
Vader
EU.
Immortal. I don't know. I don't want to
Isn't that so
keep
expanded
talking.
universe?
Keep
though?
talking about the show.
It-
I have to know.
that the people must know, goddammit. But yeah, anyway, so Sol just like runs his lightsaber through it, and I'm totally with
Bright
him on
Star.
this. Bright Star.
Oh, thank God.
What was the in Rogue One where they're sifting through the records with that like lever? What's that project for tracking people through light speed?
Lightspeed tracking.
No, it had a code name, didn't it? It had like
No,
a
there.
it was-
One of them was just called Lightspeed tracking. Another one was called Darksaber.
Oh, okay. I thought there was like Bright Star or something. I thought that was one of them. Travis says, I could see it being revealed that the planet has since started dying with Usher and May gone, so they have to return in order to restore it. Darksaber is a project. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which makes
yeah.
me wonder: is that you think that's like the proto Death Star or like the Mandalorian thing?
Wait, what? Sorry?
Oh, I'm asking Travis. Do you think that the Darksaber in the files is a reference to the Mandalorians or a reference to the proto Death Star that called the Darksaber?
There was a proto Death Star?
There were several. The Legends Empire made a lot of super weapons. Remember
But
the
like
Sun Crusher?
Yeah, but that was post ROTJ, right?
I'm certain they wouldn't have made. No. Palpatine made loved his super weapons.
Because Attack of the Clones, the Geonosians have got like the little Count Dooku has like the little plans of the Death Star, which gets made eventually.
I think Legends continuity, the Death Star you see at the end of Revenge of the Sith is the proto Death Star, not the Darksaber. The Darksaber is like this, I think them like refining the laser part, but the proto Death Star is the excuse as to why it took 19 years to get from that to that.
That's clearly bullshit because it's meant to be the Death Star at the end of 3, and that's what I'm going with. Travis says the proto Death Star was the Sun Crusher in Jedi Academy, which was being constructed before Episode 4.
No, I swear there's something literally called the proto Death Star, because I know that the Darksaber was like tests of Death Star tech, kind of like the battering ram cannon, honestly, but like on a larger scale.
That was a thing. Yeah, that was a thing. And then they put them on every Star Destroyer.
Honestly, like there's a Japanese edit that does that sort of, and it works. The way like some of the extra dialogue that they use to explain certain things, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that works.
And that Star Destroyer is still out there.
It's the same. There is a Star Destroyer that's still out there
that can blow up planets. It's out there. Maybe Rey will have to take it down in her movie in 2026. Maybe Rey will be able to shoot.
What a small plot that would be.
Maybe Rey will be able to shoot Death Star beams out of her fucking face or something and just be able to destroy it straight away. Who knows? The Force can work in mysterious ways. Travis says they could have taken a magnifying glass in the sun and called it miniaturized Death Star tech.
I mean, is the magnifying glass made of Kyber?
Well, what's that thing that Snoke's got in his throne room in 8? He's kind of got like a big magnifying glass thing.
It is a magnifying glass, isn't it? It's like a yeah, it's cool.
Is it?
I don't get it.
Yeah, same.
It's a telescope without the telescope.
Anyway, I'm getting back to the episode. I'm just
transparent material that like reshapes for to change the focus, since it doesn't get farther from itself.
Yeah, I fuck knows what that was. It's probably in like the visual dictionary or some shit. I don't know. Trevor says, I wrote an episode 10 for fun. Now I have to include Rey shooting rays out of it. Oh my god, it all makes sense. That's why she was called that. Maybe, actually, could you have it where every time Finn shouts Ray, that's like he charges it up, like Ray, and then he's like a Pokemon. Yeah.
Oh god, there was a meme. There's a meme where like laser something. Back when I was in like middle school, a character who looked like Dr. Octopus would shoot a laser out of his face.
Oh,
Or
Doctor
out of his mouth.
Octagonopus.
Blah.
Yeah. There you go. You can have that one for free, Travis. I won't ask you for the check in the mail for that one. You can do that. Then we cut to angry Darth Maul lady person, and this is the line delivery that I have, and I do remember this one. She goes like, "Fight me!" like MEH, and it was hilarious to me. I was like, I could watch this character be mad all day.
Kind of reminded me of circumstantially like at the end of Half-Blood Prince.
Oh yeah. And then she, speaking of Harry Potter, and then she disapparates, and possesses Kilnaka the Wookiee, and I'm like, well, why didn't she open with this? If this is a power that they have,
actually, okay, so no, I haven't. So it took the entire coven to possess Karnaka.
Yeah, so what was she doing then?
Think
Because she kind of does it, and then all of the others join in. Does it sustain it or something, or does it take a lot of
the
power
way
to
I
do?
see it is the entire coven together is about as powerful as the mother.
But now I'm confused because if we're talking possession, the other mother did it earlier with Tommen, but she's still present talking to the Jedi in conversation at that point.
She's much more. She's the mother. She's got the mark. She's the head of the coven. She's the strong one. The other one.
But I thought in order to possess someone, you have to turn into scary smoke monster.
What?
To possess someone, you have to turn into scary smoke monster, right?
No, that was just to be elsewhere.
Oh.
That's just they're just disapparating.
I thought she did that to then possess Kilnaka. I thought she turned into the black smoke monster and then it went into Kilnaka, didn't it?
No, the coven is the one. No, they're just disapparating and going to another room to be black eyed peas.
Oh, okay. And then then we get some Kilnaka action, and they're like, Kilnaka, the power of Christ compels you, and they're trying to bring him back to the light. Not much Wookiee action though. There's a bit where he does like a super jump. I thought they'd probably make more use of his Wookiee abilities as well as his Jedi ones. We get one force push, I believe, a super jump, and then he just kind of awkwardly lightsabers around in like a giant Sasquatch costume, and it looks really clunky.
Yeah.
Why isn't he tearing people's arms
really
off?
Slow. Oh, you would be bitching if he tore somebody's arms off.
I want to see him tear someone's arm off, the arm that is holding a lightsaber. I want to see him tear someone's arm off and then use that arm with the lightsaber against someone else with a lightsaber.
Oh, also, I was getting to this early. All the witches doing the thing that the mother was just doing kills them, I guess.
Oh yeah. The control ship has been destroyed. Look, they're all dead.
Yeah, no, I was like, did they Jamestown or did did they overexert themselves with the Force? Was it breaking the hold? Hi, Carl.
Don't eat the spice creams, and then they all just died. Travis says, Coral is living in the back of Sol's consciousness, and while he's angrily telling May the story, his eyes go black and he pukes out black smoke. Coral trying to kill him. Not really. We got a fan fiction now. We got a Wookiee fight, and not one stir, whip, stir. Wah! I'd rather have that. I actually would. Rather have that. I'm not going to lie.
You want that the same way. You want that like I want Jack Black in Star Wars.
Oh, fuck you. Well, you got your wish. Congratulations.
It's not good. No, but you've got that.
Carl says even Grace Randolph didn't like this episode. Really says a lot. Yeah. Oof. She's like the biggest shill there is.
memories.
Travis
I
says
don't know who else.
Kilnaka should have grabbed the old grandmother witch, grabbed
have
her arms,
no
and
idea
kicked
who
her
this
off the
is.
mountain without her arms. That would be amazing. I'm just saying,
I
I
have
could have.
no idea who Grace Randolph is.
Oh, she's this fucking mover. I'd use mover review in like the loosest possible sense of the word. With the most grating, irritating voice I've ever heard in my life.
Well,
Here we go. I
at
think
least her
Travis is a
voice
man
isn't
after
that
your own
grating.
heart. Says that Jack Black Mando episode is in my top 5 favorites of the series. What the fuck?
Listen, sometimes Star Wars sometimes you get a Jogan Fruit episode, and you can sit there complaining about the Jogan Fruit episode, or you can just enjoy it for a Jogan Fruit episode and recognize that it's a Jogan Fruit episode. Yeah, anybody here who's watched Clone Wars, do you know what I mean by Jogan Fruit episode? Let me know.
What was I gonna say? I love how they like scrambled to get what was it, Lizzo in that episode, because she was stunning and brave and like hashtag body goals, and then not a couple of months after that, Lizzo got landed in some hot water, didn't she? Because she was like, she was treating her staff or like people like her crew like shit, and now Lizzo's been like blacklisted like immediately after. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Carl says
Also,
we
I
did
said
see a Wookiee with a
Jamestown
metal
earlier. I
detector.
meant Jonestown.
Jonestown. Yeah, I knew what you meant. Travis says Grace Randolph is one of the people interviewing Bill Murray in Zombieland 2. Then she becomes a zombie and he kills her. Did that happen? I did see Zombieland 2.
Zombieland 2. I need to see Zombieland 2, though. I really should.
I remember it being fine, but it felt like a decade too late.
Well, here's the thing about sequels that are a decade too. I don't mind sequels that are a decade too late, because that tells me they wanted to make a sequel. They weren't. They didn't like. They weren't eager to make a sequel. They were like, we've got a good idea for the sequel. Like somebody thought this was. Look at the Johnny English movies if you'd like an example.
God, oof. I've seen them all.
Yeah, I would argue they. I need to rewatch the third one, but the second one is probably the best.
What? No, the first one by a country mile.
No, so outdated. At least the second one's
and
it's
co-written. It's co-written by some of the people who do the screenplays to a lot of the James Bond movies. So you've got that like wonderful connection there. No, the humor's way better. It's much better written. The first one, the second one was an absolute travesty. Like Johnny English Reborn or whatever it was fucking called. Awful. So bad.
I like that one. I think that one's better.
And no Boff as well. That whole interplay was wonderful. It was, the first one was so much better because it had like the classic sort of like slapsticky humor to it and whatnot, like that Rowan Atkinson does better, but it grounded itself because it had those James Bond writers there too. So it was a great pastiche. It was a great spoof. You just lost all of that nuance with the second and the third one, in my opinion, anyway. Right. What else do I have? All the witches die. Thankfully, these are positive changes. Oh, okay. Then my last note is, what the fuck is this credit song? This was the thing that pissed me off the most about this episode. The rest of it was just kind of like a carryover from episode 3 of this series, which I came to expect anyway. I just kind of let the episode wash over me. I was watching it in complete ambivalence and disinterest, and I just really didn't care for whatever was going on. I felt comatose. I didn't even feel anger or anything. I don't feel anything anymore with Star Wars until the credits hit, which snapped me back to existence, back to the present. And I thought, we've now got a fucking Rihanna-sounding R&B rap song in Star Wars. What the fuck are we doing? And I said to you, because I didn't even know anything about this song. I didn't know anything about the person who sang it. And I said, is this the fucking bitch who plays May and Osher doing when she did a diss track for people who don't like the Acolyte? Is this her? Because they're trying to push her like her non-existent fucking music career. And yeah, apparently it is, and it's awful.
Oh, it is, okay.
And
my note was, this is that song that came out when with episode 3.
Yeah. Now, when it came out, I did see that in my sub box. I didn't click it, but I thought it was just an
chanting.
elongated version of the
I
power
was
of one.
disappointed to find out that it wasn't that,
Yeah,
and then I didn't really give it much more thought. And then this happened. I was like, oh, this is that one song. Actually, I wasn't even going to comment on it, and then I was getting ready for work or whatever, or taking the dog out, whatever I was doing. And I overheard one lyric, and I had to take a note on it. You won't feel yourself when they say you're to blame. That kind of harkens back to when, I'm just gonna say that was I was totally right when May pulled out the knife, specifically when the fire was mentioned and she was to blame.
Mhm.
Especially specifically, not only was she blamed for the fire, the fire was blamed for killing her family, which she, I think, knows it didn't do.
Yeah, they all just kind of passed out.
Unless like while they were in the trance, they were like dying of carbon monoxide poisoning. I think I think this is just another like example of like last episode. These show
Bad
writers clearly
writing?
really like The Last Jedi, so they used the Force so hard and they died.
Oh yeah, bad writing. Yeah, no, I was right then. Yeah, no, I think you're onto that. Yeah. But yeah, this song cues up and it sounds like Rihanna's "Whips and Chains," like na 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 na, come on. Like I was like, oh, this is bad.
Oh, you know what? I think that does sound like that. 'Cause I don't know music. I don't do music. Um, but
It's
like I've
similar.
heard songs,
It's
and
just
yeah, no, I did kind of like there was. I think that was the what was my brain was associating it with.
it's just nondescript R&B current charts top 40 bollocks that has no place in Star Wars. It's awful. You compare it to like the majesty of like John Williams, or hell, like anything else that we've had in any of the TV shows, not necessarily composers of like John Williams. You've got who was the guy who did Mando?
Kind of hard. Wait a second.
Ludwig
yes,
Göransson, is that his name? Ludwig
I believe
Göransson?
that is his name, but also not the best example because he really changes up like what Star Wars sounds like. Like
It
just
does, but it's
listen to Luke's new theme song.
it's fair enough, but it's still kind of had like an identity of its own. I
It's
thought as a
not a
score.
fucking RM. No. It's very not what this does. And if this were actually to like be in the movie or in the show, it better fucking be in the show and not be like just the background music. I don't want Star Wars to get in the habit of like putting background music with
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
maybe it could happen. It could certainly happen. I hope it doesn't. That would be something I'm not really for.
Disney's gonna
I
be
don't really give a
Disney's
shit
gonna be the
about
one
the
to do
music
it.
on the credits.
I compared it to that episode of Game of Thrones. Jamie gets his hand cut off. Is it in season 3?
No, that was a very good comparison. Fuck you for that, by the way. The whole first few hours at work, I'm just like, bear.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
black and
context.
brown and covered in hair.
So for context, anyone who doesn't,
bear.
oh, fuck's sake. Do you want to fish off? You got one line left.
Oh,
Wait, there you go. There you go.
Her hair.
Yeah, so Game of Thrones had this really harrowing moment. I mean, if you read the book, you knew it was coming, but it was like a really like, shock factor. Oh, holy fuck! Ending, cut to black, and then you get this rock band variation of The Bear and the Maiden Fair, and I'm like, it's a song from the book, I guess, but it just completely takes you out. It's instrumentation that has no bearing.
When that like I watched that live.
Same.
It was 10 p.m. by the time the episode ended, and then I'm like, what the fuck? I remember my best friend at the time, Brandon, was there. I don't talk to this guy. I've talked to this guy a couple times in the past couple of years. I thought we were reconnected at one point, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, no, he was there, and he was like, that was fucking weird. That was bad.
Yeah, I remember I was watching it online. I'm not going to say what site it was, but it's a site that tends to have, like many sites like this, has a lot of pop-ups that come up. And the episode
came up.
Yeah, no, I did. It took me right. I was like, holy shit, hang on,
That
let
is
me try and
certainly a fair assessment to have made in your scenario.
yeah, and I was like looking around for like another tab that had popped up or anything. I was like, and then I paused the video, and then I played it again. I was like, oh, that's actually in the. And then I was listening to the lyrics, and I was like, oh yeah, that is from the book. Yeah, bad. Travis
What would be the
says,
first?
I just want to go back to
Oh,
this. The
yeah,
original
what was
Bean
that?
movie with the guy from Ghostbusters 2 is a favorite of mine. Another Ghostbusters reference, and yeah, Bean the movie is fantastic. Love it.
I mean, it's Bean the movie is fantastic, but because a lot of it's also like a lot of just classic Bean bits,
Yeah,
but without this laugh track.
I do
I
prefer
do
it to the
wonder if the
holiday.
movie would be better with a laugh track. I would
I'm
want to
not sure.
get it from the other episodes, though. I wouldn't want to just get a laugh track. I'd have to get it from the
Yeah.
like 18 episodes of Bean,
hmm
Mr. Bean, I should say.
Trevor says unpopular, but the Mando season 2 finale is probably the second worst episode of that show for me. So
What's
that
the
episode
first?
that episode really got me when it first happened, and I got suckered in by the fucking key jangling. I got suckered in by it. God damn it! I was like, oh my god, it's Luke and the fucking green lightsaber and the fucking glove on his hand, and oh, it's cool, and we're getting to see Luke actually do things that I wanted to see him do. That's all it was. I was getting to see Luke do stuff that I wish I could have seen on the big screen on his return to the big screen in 7 or 8, and I never got that chance. So it was all that, like even the CGI on the face. I was like, oh, but it's a TV show. I appreciate what they're trying to do. It must be really difficult to do that. Have you gone back
And
and looked
then
at that now?
Book of Boba Fett happened, and it looked a lot better.
It did, but have you gone back and looked at the Mando season 2 one again? Oh, it's not good.
Oh, it does not look. It does not
It
look good. No.
it's
I look because
terrible.
I've been watching deep fakes of it since it came out, so I've been looking at it rather objectively, and
Yeah.
I looking at the behind the scenes of how it was made. I'm like, how did it go from so good to so bad
Mhm.
back to
Yeah.
so good?
And then R2 showed up, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's R2!" And jingle, 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 and I went with it. And now I'm like, I can see through all that bullshit. That's what Star Wars has
But no,
become
but
now.
like
This is Star Wars.
Travis, what was the worst episode? I want to know. You said it's the second worst episode of the show. What was the worst? Was it the season 3 finale? Well, I want to know. I'm really curious now.
It's the
Like
Jack
how
Black
like 'cause
episode for
the
me, I
second
think.
worst. You know that means you know what the first worst was to you.
Travis says, "Guy gets his hand cut off. Cue Heaven by Brian Adams." Baby, you're
Oh,
all that I want.
there was a meme that came out after Jamie lost his hand that was just like a bunch of it
Oh,
was like a
okay.
bunch of different modern songs. I remember the only one I remember is Gangnam Style.
Nice. Travis says, should have ended this Acolyte episode with the 80s hit The One and Only by Chesney Hawkes, host on which UK accent may know what song I'm talking about. Hell yeah. I am the one and only. A great song. Funny story, actually, on my old channel that we will never speak of again. A very, very early comment when I started doing my reaction videos on there, someone compared me. I think someone said this Chesney Hawkes looking motherfucker. And it's great. It's so great. If you type in Chesney Hawkes 80s and you bring up a picture, it just made me laugh. I couldn't even be mad at that guy. I was like, you win. Like I have no comeback to this. It was wonderful. So even Travis says, "Oh my god, you do look like him." I think it's Chesney Hawkes, by the way. Like, drop the T out of it.
You look like this looks like you and Keanu Reeves had a love child. I'm really good at like being like these are the two celebrities you look like.
Yeah, mash them together. Travis says, my issue with that
I'm Heath
episode
Ledger
is
and
it's a
TJ
bunch.
Miller, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I kind of see that. Yeah, yeah. Travis says, my issue with that episode is it's a bunch of people who don't care about Grogu letting Mando fight Gideon by himself. It just felt hollow.
No, that's a perfectly fair criticism of that episode, Travis. What episode did you think was the worst, though? Please, you're
You
killing
must
me
know.
here. I've got we need to wrap up this stream. I got places to go. What is your you're teasing me here, man.
Yeah, let's end it on that. We'll find out what it is, and then we'll close up shop.
Well, no, he's not going to tell us, and it's never going to end.
Well, while we're waiting for him to type that in the comments, let's do the preamble. So I'm done. We've got one episode. They've got to tie all this shit up in probably what's going to be a half-hour-long episode.
That's so fair.
The first
That's so fair.
episode.
That wasn't a good episode. That's so fair. That was bad.
God.
Like, there were things that they were clearly doing that they were trying to do with that. Like, they were trying to be like, this guy sucks. But unfortunately, when you make a character who sucks, you risk the audience hating the episode by association.
And he's trying to be Han Solo, and we go back to the cantina bar, but there's a robot behind the bar now, because remember in episode 4 where they said no droids allowed?
Oh, I was more like, oh, it's good to see that guy's got some work after Jabba died.
Oh, yeah, it was the same one, wasn't it? That was just Filoni fucking filleting himself that whole episode. I fucking hated it. Right, that's it. As I say, we've got one episode next week, but we will still keep these Star Wars streams going probably every Wednesday unless something changes, and we will be revealing what's going on with that, with the future of these Star Wars streams next week, so make sure you tune in for that. We're probably going to go back to the original time of 9:30 for next week, I would expect. Again, unless something comes up, we'll let you know. So please do consider subscribing to the channel, not just for Star Wars reviews. There's going to be many other movie reviews too. I need to see the new Beverly Hills Cop movie that's on Netflix. So I'll try and watch that this weekend. I've got my Disney reviews coming out, and there probably will be a lot of other stuff as well. A lot more TV coming out. We've got Cobra Kai Season 6, Part 1, because that's been split into 3. And then Rings of Power Season 2 in August. So get hyped for that. And if you haven't done so already and you discover this, let us know your thoughts on Star Wars The Acolyte. Which side do you fall on? And what are your hopes and dreams and aspirations for Episode 8? JX, where can people find you? What are you working on? What have you got coming out?
Hello. I am JXEditor. You can find me at youtube.com/JXEditor.
Fuck.
Okay, I feel like you're just doing it wrong on purpose at this point. We've been doing this a long time.
Okay,
I've had it down since the beginning of Ahsoka.
I got to oh, no, fuck. I can't. Fucking hell, man. I can't do it.
I don't. Why the... Do this. Just do this.
This.
The camera's over there. The camera's in front of you.
Yeah, but your arm is like... Oh, okay. Hang on. There. Okay, I got it. 9 o'clock. It's my 9 o'clock. Sort of. We're getting there. We'll get it for next week. Yeah, head on over there. You got some edits coming out. We've got ideas. Ideas are brewing every single day.
Yes, I do have something coming out actually this time. I'll tell you more about it next week, though.
Yeah, we might be taking a look at one of your projects too in the next couple of weeks. So look out for that. Yeah, big thank you to everyone for tuning in tonight. I know that there's been like football on in the UK and whatnot, but Travis says fun stream, guys. We'll tune in again. Yeah, please do. It's the finale next week. So
welcome to the crew.
Yes, part of the crew, part of the ship. But yeah, thank you to everyone. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next week. Same bat time. No, different bat time, but same bat channel.